Willow Creek Springs presents Healthy Living with your host, Joe Grumbine.
Well, hello and welcome to the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Grumbine, and today we've got a very special guest. Her name is Nita Watson, and I have known Nita for, I think it's been more than 10 years. And for those of you who know my past, I've been involved in the cannabis medicinal side of the world for a long time. And I have been involved with activist organization called the Human Solution International since 2009 is when we organized that. And Nita and I met somewhere along the road in that venue. And boy, our paths have sort of woven a beautiful little tapestry. Nita, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Joe, for having me. Doing just fine. Thank you.
Well, I gave an introduction that's a little vague. I always like to hear it from our guest point of view. Why don't you just share a little bit about how we came together? And we've got some exciting things we're going to be talking about, but we got a lot to talk about. So this is probably the first of several interviews we'll be doing.
Yes, actually, I met Joe and Liz through mutual friends. And we were able to put together our first event to talk about cannabis. And that was at a workshop at our church at Loveland in Fontana. And Joe and Liz came out and were the keynote speakers for our event. That was back in 2019.
Okay. All right. So
it's been a wonderful, wonderful journey with this family and these folks ever since.
I love it. And that's when I heard or learned about you had at the time an organization called Indeed Reentry Project.
Yes, that is correct. Indeed Reentry Project, it was formed in 2014. And the entire goal of that organization was to assist folks who have criminal pasts with their petitions for expungement and dismissal of their charges. And so we have continued that mission, and we actually are celebrating, I want to say 100% success rate with our clients.
Nice.
So yeah, and so we're still out here trying to help people get their lives back on track after, run-ins with the law.
I love it. I love it. And that's where our sort of activist lives sort of began to intertwine. And, the Human Solution had a prison outreach program at the time, and we were working on putting a workshop together. But meanwhile, at the same time, you became acquainted with our product line of Willow Creek Springs and working with Rochelle and Jerry, and you got to experience some of the stuff that we've been making for a long, long time. And we talked about, working together, creating a brand for you. And then you come up with this other project. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, yes, indeed. I am a very, very strong user of the Willow Creek Springs products. I use them daily. And at 63 years old, 64 in a couple of months, I don't have any prescriptions with my name on the labels.
Wow.
These products are my medicine. And so I'm so grateful for Joe for formulating these amazing products. And so not just myself, but my family and friends, we use these products, and they are helping us to deal with the illnesses and things that just come, just part of life, right? So, but that brings us back to why we're here, and that is to talk about the Health and Wellness Day at the Gardens of Hope that we are planning for the first part of October.
This is exciting. You came to me about a week and a half ago. I can't believe it was really just that quick that it's all come about. We hadn't talked in a little bit, and you said, well, I'd like to propose an event. And of course, my wife always cringes when I say event, but when we talked about doing this, a 1 day sort of a health and wellness symposium, it was perfect. And to do it in the garden is just what the garden was built for, really.
It's what it was built for. And the feeling in the atmosphere speaks to wholeness, wellness, just total, just wellness, mind, body, and soul, as our flyer says.
Exactly.
This is not just something that we just, decided one day. No, this has been something that you and I have talked about for a long time.
It's true.
Finally have the opportunity, the time. The time is perfect. The timing is perfect. And we're ready to go. We're ready to start pushing this event.
Well, and it's kind of cool because, you bring in a coalition of individuals and organizations into this. And we've built over the past 3 years a community of like-minded individuals and a number of practitioners and healers and facilitators that have all come to the garden and experienced, the value of, when somebody is a practitioner, maybe they do massage therapy or Reiki or yoga or sound baths or meditation or even a prayer group. You can do it in a building, you can do it in your house, you can do it in an office, and it works fine, right? You go to a clinic and you go and get a massage, it's great. But you go to a garden where the nature's just all around and it's green and alive and the breeze is blowing through you and the butterflies are flying around and hummingbirds are zipping by. It's just a whole different experience. And
We love coming to the garden. Hope you and Liz have done such an amazing job, and your volunteers and your staff have done an amazing job preparing us for this time. I'm telling you, time is now. And speaking of our coalition, we've been working very, very diligently in the community. I have an organization now that I formed 3 years ago called the National Volunteer Council on Freedmen Affairs, where we fight for a deeper understanding of the historical impacts of slavery and the things that we are needing redress for. But more importantly, in this space, my organization, the Black Gold Urban Grow Hemp Care Consulting, and we will eventually put on an expo. That's in the near future. And I definitely want Willow Creek Springs and the Gardens of Hope to be a big, big, big part of that. And so we have other coalition partners. We have the Women of Inland. I'm now a resident of the Inland Empire, never lived here, but like I said, the timing is perfect for everything we've been talking about all these years, Joe. And so we have Rochelle, who is our dear mutual friend, and Jerry. They have Be Made Whole. That's their CBD company. We have Be Ending and Brandon, their mother and son team. And
nice.
Are extremely gifted in so many ways. They bring all the nature, the natural, the food, the eating. They're big on the dietary side.
Nice.
You pull these coalitions together. I got chills, Joe. Coalitions together, we're going to be able to help each other be restored, because that's what this event on August 10th is called. Restore your mind, body, and spirit. And we're looking forward.
Yeah, I think that, we've come really far really quickly. You brought some amazing partners into this from the get-go. We've reached out. We've already got people that are doing energy work. We've got a woman who does sound bath and yoga. We've got massage. We're working on food that looks like we've got that at least partway worked out already. We got music. We've got, a number of workshops that are without even putting a whole lot of work into it. We've already got presenters. We're putting together right now the framework for sponsors and collaborative partners. And we're getting ready to put out our first flyer here already. And again, this is going to be in October 10th, which is a beautiful time of the year.
My favorite time of the year.
It gets, pretty warm in the middle of summer out here in the Inland Empire in, Paris, California. And even though we've got a lot of trees and it's a lot cooler out here than it is outside of here, it's still pretty warm. But in October, it's almost like springtime. The air gets crisp in the morning and the daytime's usually really beautiful. Leaves get a little bit of color on them. I mean, it's really kind of a magical time of the year.
Yes, indeed. It's 10 days after my birthday, which where it begins for me as far as that part of the year that fall on into the holidays. And so I understand that it really is my favorite time of the year. So I'm looking forward to even the weather joining us.
I love it. Well, what's funny is
Hey.
a little more than 2 years ago, or coming up on 2 years, I should say, in 2024, we had the Holistic Health Symposium. And that was an event that was put on by a neighbor of mine at my business. And he had a mushroom focused business. And so we had a bunch of guests. We had a lot of speakers. We had a lot of workshops. Most of the vendors were related to mushroom medicine and that sort of thing. And to me, that was okay, but I'm not so much about that. I think mushrooms are good medicine. There's a lot of wonderful things that we're learning about mushrooms and a lot of great stuff. I'm not opposed to them in any way, but I've never been the mushroom guy in the sense of, where I spent most of my work. And I wanted that event to be more about health and healing and food and all the things we're talking about doing. So it's kind of neat that our offering is going to be really the event that I wanted to put on all along. And it's not that we can't have some mushroom people there, but it's going to be well-rounded. It's going to be a holistic event rather than more of a one-sided thing that we did before.
Yes, indeed. And so we spoke about the potential or the future, I'll say, expo. And
Yeah.
I would just like to take this opportunity right now to, call the attention, the cannabis companies, the cultivators, the processors, the vendors, the dispensaries, just all of our industry partners. This is your invitation to be a part of something groundbreaking in the Inland Empire, and we will definitely be bringing you more information in the coming podcasts.
Yeah, this is really just the tip of the iceberg. You and I are finally launching a partnership on a number of levels, and it's really great to be working with you. It's
You.
refreshing. I'm an innovator and a visionary and an entrepreneur, and that has brought me into the arena of so many flaky people in my life. And a lot of times dreamers are just that. They're dreamers, but not doers. And I've just run into so many people that have talked about doing things that never happened. And, I plod along with what I'm doing and I, make things happen. But finally, to engage you on this level is just so refreshing. You bring a level of professionalism and thoughtfulness that, frankly, I don't see enough of these days.
Thank you so much. And I agree that you are truly a visionary and entrepreneur, and you inspire us, everyone that works closely with you, that call you a friend, to you and your beautiful wife. We appreciate you and we thank you for your consistency, and we need you.
Well, I plan on being here a good long while. I plan on outliving most of the people I know. That's sort of my general plan here.
Yes, indeed.
So,
Here.
from the time that we met until now, you've had a chance to experience some of the things that we do, and that's caused you to recognize, the importance of quality natural offerings, whether it's cannabis infused or herbal or CBD or any combination of their. And you talk about not having any prescriptions, and I frankly don't have any prescriptions either. I have immunotherapy treatment that I do. I guess that's a prescription, but short of that, I don't go to the pharmacy. I have no reason to. And the remedies that I make are the remedies that I take. And so I always tell people I make this stuff for myself and my wife and my loved ones, and we happen to sell it to other people too. But if I didn't sell anything, I still make this stuff for me because it works. And you've had some experiences with some of our offerings that have caused you to want to, introduce your own brand. And I'm really kind of curious to hear about your experiences that have brought this, caused you to feel this way.
Yes, indeed. But we got to pause for the cause right here, Joe.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, indeed. As I stated earlier, I going to be 64 years old on September 30th, 10 days before our illustrious event there at the gardens. And I don't have any prescriptions with my name on them. I have been using Willow Creek Springs products, everything from the salve to the tincture to the topical, oh my goodness, for my bug bites, I use the disinfectant spray, or what is it called, Joe? What is that?
Oh, the first
spray?
aid spray, yeah.
I send products across the country to my elderly family members, my grandson, who is a professional basketball player. He's in Chile right now playing on a professional basketball team up there in the
Nice.
Euro League. And so I've sent those products across this country. He was injured, as a matter of fact, and a serious back injury that stopped him basically from playing for a while. And those products, we would massage him with those products, and he's back at it and very, very healthy. And so it's a part of our lives now. It's not just a cliche, it's not just a sales pitch. We use Willow Creek Springs because they make our lives better. They help us with pain, and they help us with inflammation in our organs. That's where it starts before it gets to the ankles. And so it's just been a tremendous blessing meeting you, Joe, and then absolutely being able to use your products for our health.
Well, and I think that, the goal with some of these things are some of it's symptomatic, but it seems like most of the pharmaceutical answers, they cover up symptoms rather than go after the problem. And I think working with natural herbs and the CBD and some of the other ingredients we work with, the goal is, and I believe we accomplish it in a lot of levels, is to actually facilitate the healing, to help it to, your body does the work. God gave us an amazing body that has the ability to repair itself and fix whatever's wrong. But a lot of times, whether it's our diet or stress or sleep or whatever the reasons, these systems don't work, as well as they might. And we find, these problems continue or persist or get worse. A lot of times taking, a natural solution, if it's done right and it's taken right, can just kind of help get you back in alignment. They call it homeostasis, where your body finds a balance of the things it needs and allows it to kind of function at the level that it was designed. That's kind of what we're all about. And it's wonderful to watch other people talk about their experiences. I've been through plenty of experiences myself. I'm a little clumsy apparently because I've sliced myself up and bashed my head and done all kinds of things that caused me a lot of wounds and injury, and good thing I had all these first aid products because they've
Absolutely.
kept me from being mangled.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think, a lot of the stuff, even the anti-anxiety, even just the oils, when you take something into your body that helps your body find balance, I think it can be miraculous if in the right circumstances.
Yes.
And that takes me to kind of the next level of things. And this is something that we do for a number of clients, but you and I are getting ready to embark on a new venture.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Well, this is another thing that we have talked about for a very long time. And again, everything happens when it's supposed to, I believe, in its own time. And so we've talked about white labeling products for my urban, for our urban Black Gold Urban Grow Consulting and Expo business. So we want products that are especially made for our skin. Our
Right.
skin, and our meaning, Black Americans. We have melanated skin, and so we have a need for these products and these oils and these ingredients that you and Liz use to create the formula. So I'm so excited that we are finally here where we will have an actual product line for our community. Not that the products as they are not fine, they are, but we do want to use this as a drawing card for other members of our community to know about the Willow Creek Springs family and their products. And
Well, I
start,
love
oh,
a specific target. Many of our products have come about as a result of somebody saying, "Hey, I've got this need," whatever it might be. And, to have target that's very specific this way, to me, I love it. It's a challenge, and I'm looking forward to putting it to the test. When we develop a new product for somebody, there's a level, or the proof of concept part of it, where we'll make a version of it and you'll get it out there and get it on some people and see what they say. And when we get enough good feedback, we will say, okay, let's lock and load this thing.
yes,
But we've never had a specific demographic target like this before, so it really makes me happy. It's always been more of a narrow target, like somebody else say, well, I've got this one problem, I've got whatever, eczema, or I've got a neuropathy, or some specific thing that isn't necessarily a demographic issue, but just a whatever. Everybody can have that problem, anxiety or depression or whatever it is. I'm really, to me, this is something that is going to carve out another level of what we're capable of. And so I'm in the research phase of this right now. We're talking about doing a beard oil, a foot cream, and some other products that are going to be, very purposefully formulated for you.
Hi, this is Joe Grumbine, and I wanted to share an update. The platform that hosts this podcast has made some changes to the subscriber settings, and we have a number of subscriber-only episodes that we offer to the supporters, and for a minimum of $3 a month, we can get you signed up. And if you're already signed up and you're having some kind of trouble locating these episodes in the other platforms, I would say maybe the best answer is to unsubscribe and then resubscribe. I'm sorry for the hassle. I don't have any way to make a change, but I'm very grateful for all the support. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Targeted.
Yeah, exactly.
Target market, yes, in the Black community. And I feel like because, one of our missions across the board, all of the coalition partners know that, working in the community, being, from our community, we know that health is a major, major, major problem for a lot of us. You know, big pharma, they keep us with lots of pills, lots of
Oh,
medications.
yeah. No
You don't
shortage.
leave those offices when you go see the doctors without a prescription. But
Exactly.
there is a better way. And so this is the purpose of us white labeling, not just to, not for the commercial side, but for really health crisis in our community and mental health as well. So the way that the CBD works for, benefits as far as, benefiting anxiety, inflammation, all those things where, it starts in our major organs and then it works its way out into diabetes and heart, problems and, all these things. And so, yeah, we definitely need to make sure our community understands that there is a better way. And
And even with things like skincare, people don't realize, like, if you go to, I don't know, Walmart or even, Ulta or one of these, higher end beauty supply places, and you grab a bottle of lotion or a cream or whatever the treatment is, and you look at those ingredients, the chances are, unless you pick a, very specific all natural brand, which most of them are not, you're going to see words you don't even know how to pronounce. You're going to see things that are made out of petroleum. You're going to see things that are made from chemicals that are not necessarily good for you, but they serve some purpose in a formula that causes it to be more stable or to last longer or to do a certain thing. But at what cost? Just like the pharmaceutical drugs. If you got a problem and they say, well, here, go take this drug, most of the time there's going to be some side effect. And you're going to take that one drug for this one problem, and you're going to say, well, okay, I worked on this one thing, but now I got this other problem. And the same thing with skincare. A lot of times something that's supposed to moisturize you in the short term can actually dry your skin out in the long term or deplete your skin of moisture and nutrients. Things like sunblock or things like, some of these anti-aging things, if you don't know what's inside of them, I don't know why we're putting this stuff on our skin. It's just like eating, just like drinking, people will go and drink some, energy drink and they don't have any idea what the heck's in it. And, truth is, some of the things can be pretty toxic to people. And so to get the results that you're looking for, your skin being healthy, your skin looking pretty, your skin being moist and soft and supple and not, like you were talking about, your feet. And, feet are such an important part of your body and they get neglected to hell. We stomp on them, we squish them into little shoes, we walk barefoot and get calluses and blisters and just we're horrible to our feet.
we are.
And, to have something that you can go after a hard day's work and just relax and go and put this on it, maybe something to soak. I mean, there's all kinds of places we're going to go with this, but it's kind of exciting to think that we're going to be able to help a group of folks that, we haven't specifically targeted before.
Well, there's a saying in our community, good black don't crack. We say that all the time, but at the same time, we still have to take care of our skin. And
Exactly.
so, and and that's one of the products that I'm going to be so excited to present And that is the anti-aging formula.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
so
to be frank, I've always been a little envious. I've known a lot of elderly Black folk in my life, and I'm like, where the heck are your wrinkles? Like, you just don't have them. And us white folks, man, we wrinkle up like prunes pretty fast. And I go, wow, I don't know what happened there, but somehow you got something we didn't get.
yeah. And
I love it.
we love our feet too, and we love keeping them pretty and
Yeah,
cured, and so we gotta keep them moist as well.
I love it. I love it. Well, this is an exciting new adventure on all these levels. We've just touched base on a lot of elements from the social equity side of things to
Yes,
the holistic, wellness side of things to the cannabis side of things and now to this custom formulas and this new product line. I feel like we got a lot of work in front of us.
exciting times.
I love it. I love it. Well, you and I share a lot in common, including a faith, including
Oh yes,
a commitment to excellence, including an element of justice in our hearts, that things are important to us that a lot of folks maybe don't even know about, and bringing awareness to some of the problems. You're just becoming aware of a lot of indigenous problems and possible solutions. And that's something that I've been working with for a little while. And it's just exciting to lock arms with you.
absolutely. The feeling is mutual.
Well, Nita, you are quite an incredible human being. We didn't even touch on you know, your law side of things, your mom side of things, and now your foster mom's side of things. I mean, you're just an incredible human being.
Thank you.
I would like to see if you've got a thought that you would like to leave our listeners with. We've covered a lot of things, but just something that is important to you that you'd like to share as a sort of central thought.
Oh yeah, well, I could say a whole lot of things, but I'll just say that I'm grateful that we have continued to pursue our goals,
Mm,
no matter how long it has taken. We've stuck with the vision. We've stayed the course. We've gone through the trials that we needed to go through to grow in our faith and all kinds of other areas in life. And so
mm,
here we are. And I believe that the time has come for us to realize the goals and the vision that we have set forth to do. And
I love that.
time is right. Stick with my word of wisdom today is stick with your dreams and never let them go.
I love that. Some might call that integrity.
Yeah,
Go-
basically.
Goes a long way. It goes
It
a
does.
long way.
It
Well,
does.
that's wonderful. So, Nita, you got a lot of places that you could send us to as far as how to learn more about your projects and efforts and causes and businesses. Why
Yeah.
don't you share what you would like to with us?
Well, first of all, Black Gold Urban Grow Consulting. That's our cannabis business. We're on all major social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well as the National Volunteer Council on Freedom Affairs. That is our organization that fights for reparative justice and remediation for slavery. Again, all major platforms. We are entertainers as well. So we have actually made our singing group a corporation, the Ladies of Soul Corporation. We're a tribute concert. We pay tribute to the women in the industry, music industry, whose shoulders we stand on, like Dinah Ross and you name them, Stephanie Mills, you name them.
Love that.
Those are our role models. And then also we have quite a few educational programs that we have authored and gotten patented so that we can put them into colleges and universities,
Nice.
particularly HBCUs, because remediation and restorative justice should be understood by everyone. And so that's just a couple of the things that we got going on. But like I said earlier, you stick to those dreams and they will become a reality.
I love that. I love that. Well, I'm looking forward to making change in the world with you, my friend. And just want to thank you for joining me today. And I know we're going to be touching base on a monthly basis until this event and
Yes.
bringing up updates and talking more about these things that we're working on. So I just want to thank you for joining me today. And
Very,
I'm looking forward to this thing moving forward.
thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.
Wonderful. This has been another episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Grumbine. I want to thank all of our listeners for making this show possible, and we will see you next time.
This has been another episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. We produce this show so that people can share their stories, people that have overcome obstacles, people that are undergoing obstacles. We're building a community of health-minded individuals. If you're interested in supporting the show, please leave a review on the platform you're listening to it on. If you're interested in becoming a guest, please send an email to itsjoegrumbine@gmail.com, or you can send a note into the notes section of the podcast. All right. Well, thank you for supporting this show, and we hope you've enjoyed it.